Greetings to my 15 subscribers. I'm still here talking about dopamine and vinyl. Today we are talking about the new Harry Styles album, Kiss All the Time, Disco Occasionally. Now, the twist is that I am going to be taking songs from the album and pairing them to Disney men/Disney princes. So I am ready with a glass of wine, so let's get into it. Disclaimer though, this video is for entertainment and alleged purposes only. I will also note that this is probably the only Harry Styles album that I have listened to from beginning to the end. So I am not a stylist or I'm not like a fanatic. I am a fan, and I think fan is short for fanatic. Like, I'm a fan of Harry Styles, but I have not gone too deep into his eras. I know his hits, so I just wanted to present this side. So if there's some lore that I'm missing to connect to the princes, it's lost in the grapes, it's lost in the wine, and I probably don't know the lore. All right, now let's get started. So, from the top, track one, Aperture. And I'm kind of torn. If we're going strictly the Disney Prince route, I picked Prince Florian. And you might be going, who? Snow White's Prince. I just feel like this song is kind of carefree. I, I I could just picture him singing this coming out of the woods, or I could picture him singing, "We belong together" to Snow White. And he did sing to Snow White. And I guess me in my head, I see him and I can see him singing these lyrics like to Snow White, or his face fit for me for Aperture. Now, if we are not stuck on strictly princes, I definitely feel like it would be Peter Pan, because I think lyrically the words, um, it's best you know what you don't. It's kind of, I don't want to say naive. Naive is not the right word, but it's best you don't, or it's best you know what you don't. I feel I could see him singing this to Wendy, like, it's best you know what you don't. Kind of not a whimsical, but like this fantasy phrasing and let the light in. I don't know. I thought Peter Pan for some reason. Um, and I could see them flying around. And at the end, there is a lyric, "Time won't wait on me." And that is true with Peter Pan and Wendy, because Wendy's gonna get old. Time is not gonna wait on him. He doesn't age, if I remember correctly. It has been a long time since I've watched Peter Pan, but time's not gonna wait on Peter. So Wendy is gonna get old, and so that is Aperture. The next song is American Girls, and this one, I just feel like it just fits literally. That's kind of where my head went first off initially. So, Princess, we're going with Prince Naveen, because Princess Tiana is an American. So, that's kind of how I tied that together. I was just like, oh. And so, yeah, that's how I connected the dots there. But let me see if there is actually a line that I can back this up with more. So the best I can do is to say, yes, Prince Naveen's friends were in love with American Girls, and he's heard that so many times before. And I can envision him being like, oh, singing this to kind of cement he is now in love with an American girl, so that he's gonna spend his life with, and feels like They've known each other for ages, and that is Tiana. And that I don't have a backup, a non-Prince version, because this one just came to me super clearly. I was like, oop, oop, Prince Naveen. That is what it is. All right. The next track is Ready, Steady, Go. So this one, I don't remember if he's technically a prince by the end of the movie, but we're gonna say it works either way, and that is going to be Flynn Rider. I wanted to say like Flynn Rider, but that's not how you say it. So why I picked Flynn Rider for this is because it kind of has like the beat and the vibes that are going on spoke to me for Flynn Rider, because it's like a little mischievous, like one time is all right. It's kind of like getting away with something. And I feel like he did have a little bit of that mischievous edge to him. Um, and so I felt like the vibes and the atmosphere that the song gives, I could see Flynn Rider singing this for sure. But he could also be saying this to Rapunzel. Think about it. Like, ready, steady, go. Let's go on an adventure. Let's get you out of this tower. Come on, like, let's take this chance. And I'm probably remembering the movie wrong, so I'm gonna say it with the vibes. It was the vibes. Just gave me Flynn Rider vibes, where it's like I could see him being suave with this, like ready, steady, go. Especially with this horse, and it just worked for me. Like getting away with stuff the first time, the second time. I liked it for him. So that was my pick for Ready, Steady, Go. And if you disagree with me and my choices for these songs, feel free to comment in the comments and tell me what you would have picked, who you would have picked instead. The next song is Are You Listening Yet? And this is another one where I'm not sure if by the end of the whole story of them, like by the second movie or even the end of the first one, if this person turned into a prince. But the Disney man that I picked for Are You Listening Yet is Mulan's man, Lee. Lee Shang, I believe his name is, but that could be wrong. So why I picked him is because that pounding question, like, are you listening yet? I could see that coming out of Lee's mouth. To be real, like, he was a voice of reason and logic. And so I felt that lyrics like, are you listening yet? Or like asking questions, or for people to have awareness, kind of fit with his overall tone in the movie. Like, let's get down to business. Are you listening yet? Like, those two lines definitely flow together, if you ask me. So that's why I picked Lee Shang, I hope that's his name, for this song, Are You Listening Yet? The next track is Taste Back. And for this one, I went with a prince this time, a Disney prince, but not a good one. I went with Prince Hans. So the reason that I chose Prince Hans, who is from Frozen, which I don't watch Frozen a lot, but he was not a good guy, if I remember correctly. But I picked him because he was not picked by Anna. And so, how I made this song fit with Prince Han is to use the phrase, like, did you get your taste back? Like, oh, you're coming back to me because now you have taste. So, in an alternate reality where maybe Anna is like rethinking things, or like, well, maybe I should forgive him or give him another chance, or, like reaches out for like to close the toxic loop. When you're trying to close the loop with a toxic person, sometimes they can be hard to let go of. So he's like, oh, did you get your taste back? Sort of thing, like in this alternate universe that doesn't exist. But I could see him kind of singing these lyrics in that tone, like, so you're reaching out to me. You must have gotten your taste back, like a taste in men. Or do you just need a little love? Again, this is an alternate universe, and this is just where my mind ran with it with the men that I had available to choose from in my brain. So we're going with Prince Hans for Taste Back. The Waiting Game is the next song on the album, and for this one, I think that this person was a prince. They were definitely royalty, but I chose Hercules. Now, in my head, how this works is Hercules kind of singing this to Meg from the perspective of like Meg kind of being tethered to, is his name Hades? The Satan character with the blue hair. So her being kind of caught up with him. And so doing that and her not being fulfilled with her life. That's why I picked Hercules, because I could imagine him singing this to her, like she uses Hades, or she's stuck with Hades, playing this game, waiting, and it's not going to add up to anything. She's just kind of trapped like a prisoner, and she can try to justify playing this game with Hades or being trapped with him, and it will all add up to nothing. Just her kind of waiting to see what life would crash and burn, or not really having a life, like waiting for something to happen while she's trapped in this thing with Hades. So maybe him singing to Meg about her insecurities and him maybe misinterpreting what she has with Hades as like, oh, you're just trying to find somebody to put your arms around to pass the time, and maybe even misunderstanding like you're doing that, you did that with him for him because it's a romantic link, but being completely wrong. So I picked Hercules for this from the perspective, probably the alternate universe, of him kind of having a moment of, why did you do this to me? You were just playing the waiting game. I hope that it worked out for you, doing this for Hades and screwing me over, blah, blah, blah. Again, I never said any of these ideas are logical, but these are the things that I came up with in my head. To the next song. For this one, I can confirm that he did become. Wait, no, I can't. I don't remember. I need to go back and watch these movies, but I believe he became a prince by the end of the film, and he even was a fake prince. So for season 2 weight loss, I picked Aladdin because I feel that these lyrics could relate to Aladdin, when he's just contemplating, like, hoping that she will love him now that he's tried to do the ultimate and like transform into a prince, because he wants a chance with her. So that is the perspective that I took from this to pair it with Aladdin. So envisioning him singing it to her, or maybe not even singing it to her. Maybe he's like standing on the balcony and like singing it out into the wind, and it's like, holding, holding now, hoping you will love me now. Maybe this was before they had that magic carpet ride, so he's like trying to be like, oh man, was this the right thing to do? I hope that she loves me now that I'm actually a prince. So that's where I took it and connected it to Aladdin. So my pick for season 2 weight loss was Aladdin. I'm going to admit that I took the easy way out for the next one. So, the next track, Coming Up Roses, I did exactly what you think I'm going to say and who exactly you think I'm going to connect it to, but it was sitting right there. I had to do it. So, for this one, I don't know his name in his human form, but I picked the Beast. Yes, because there is a rose in that story. And also, like the second line in, we're talking about clocks. So we've got Mr. Cogsworth. I just had to do it. So I uh I picked the Beast for this one. And so I guess you can imagine them waltzing to this. I think that could be really cute in like some live action version or something, like them dancing on that night to this. That could be cute. Or maybe this is like post retransformation back into human, and we're in the world where Belle, I think his name is Adam, and Adam are living in the real life, and he's kind of like questioning and has doubts in his head, like, oh, we need to go back to a better time. And I think that this would fit for that as well. So, like in the future, and they are both humans, and he's singing with references to roses that almost caused his death. And then he's kind of like, let's just have a good night. And am I overly critical? Am I still a beast in human form as a partner? You know, I feel like those are valid questions that in the real world relationship after this transformation on the rooftop that they would have had in their relationship 100%. So like an inner monologue of Adam slash the beast asking himself if he still feels like he is a beast in his asking himself that in his thoughts. We're going with that. Alrighty. For pop, the Prince, and hard emphasis on Prince because I did pick a real Prince this time, um, is Prince Eric. And so the reason that I picked Prince Eric is for vibes, first and foremost, but also because bubbles pop and bubbles are associated with the water. I do have a stronger case slightly. So I think in the second half of the song, I think the second verse when he's talking about two flavors and it's open to translation what that means. I picture that as Ariel and then Ursula's human form that I can't remember her name right now. I think it starts with the V. So in the alternate reality, you can do what you want with that information. Why he would be singing that. But I picked Prince Eric for this because, like, pop and him being stuck between two women, essentially, like, what is happening? Because he had Ariel, this girl that he met on the beach, and then he's got this other lady who has the voice of the girl. And like, this could go anywhere. Squeaky clean fantasy. I pictured this in that alternate reality where he's got both options, and you know, that's just what I did. And I feel like I could see him jumping around, da, 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 pop. Like if there was a musical version of him in his head being like, oh, which one is for me? We know which one is for him. And then him even kind of playing like mixing the two together, the two flavors. You know, that's how I made it work in my mind. Feel free to get mad at me for the next one because I literally was just kind of taking stuff out of the title to match with someone. So we've got, oh, wait, I skipped a song. Okay, not this one, or you can get mad at me for any of these, but um Dance No More is technically next on the album. So for Dance No More, I picked Tarzan. And I think the grooviness and the movement is why I picked it. And dancing with his friends, like they had a literal band, like do 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 da 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 dance number band jamming moment. So I associated that with Tarzan. And I said, they were already jamming out. They do want to dance with all their friends. So I picked Tarzan for this because he is like the king of movement. Although he officially wears no crown, he was the king of like swinging through the trees and the branches. And so I could see him in the modern world wanting to dance with his friends and singing this anthem because he just wants to move. Even when in an alternate reality where he and Jane live in the real world, he wants to take her out dancing and they're dancing. And I do feel like he could also say, respect your mother, like Mother Earth, because he grew up in the jungle. Hello. He grew up in the jungle. So, of course, he's going to say that. It fits, I tell you. Now we are on the one that you can get mad at me for because it is paint by numbers and literally just, I feel like I took a lazy way out. I matched the title to a princess and I'm going to try to make it work right now. So who I picked for paint by numbers was John Smith because his girl sang Paint with All the Colors of the Wind. They are both painting. And so this situation would be John Smith and Pocahontas in the modern world. Oh, actually, I feel like they are not together in the second movie. This is an alternate reality, okay, where they are just watching the colors run together in life. So Pocahontas taught him how to paint with all the colors of the wind, and now he's using that knowledge that she gave him to continue painting and painting by numbers and trying to realize and justify in his mind like life is still complicated, and maybe seeing that the reality of getting what he wanted, it's still a picture that you have to come to terms with. So him committing to say it's going to be a lifetime of learning to paint by numbers. So him committing to the teachings that Pocahontas gave him, like, I'm going to commit to the painting that you taught me, but in my own way, paint by numbers and watching the colors run together. So it's literally Paint with All the Colors of the Wind part 2. Yes, be mad at me for this interpretation. And we've reached the last song on the album, which is Carla's song. And I just looked at the name that I wrote down to this and kind of was scratching my head. But listen, I'm going to try to make it work right now. So I picked Kristoff. And I picked Kristoff from Frozen because let's say we are in Kristoff's shoes. I feel like Anna gives off childhood wonder, amazement sort of energy. So we are in Kristoff's shoes looking at Anna. So Kristoff is just like enjoying watching Anna have excitement in her life or take joy in the simple pleasures. I feel that Anna can give off that child like wonder, amazement energy and excitement. And this is Kristoff admiring that quality in her in the modern world. So he's just enjoying that. Like, it's all waiting here for you, this wonderful life. And he's singing this to Anna because he loves that quality about her, like that amazement and that wonder, and kind of like seeing everything for the first time with open eyes and just like everything is amazing. And instead of criticizing her, or where in the real world people do tend to try, if they're insecure within themselves, to look down on someone who does have that excitement, and they try to suck it out of you and give it to the darkness. But Kristoff is a good guy, so Kristoff is admiring that quality in Anna. So this should really be renamed Anna's Song. And with that, we've gone through the entire album Kiss All the Time, Disco Occasionally by Harry Styles, and we've matched them to Disney Men. Now, I made some questionable choices, I think, so you tell me in the comments who you would pair with what songs, or if you do agree with me on some of them. This is my first video that I've done like this. If you don't want it to be the last, let me know what album you think I should do next, and give me a like and subscribe, because it was kind of awkward to do this as an experiment. I am a little nervous to post this, but much love to my 15 subscribers. Thanks for watching. Bye.